Yo, what is up? My apologies. I was getting a snack, and yeah, I was freaking starving just before, so I was finishing up some eating. I didn't know my intro was already done. What's going on, peoples? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Obviously, didn't stream the other day. I had some important shit to do the last couple days, so depending on how, I have until about maybe 3:00 if we go that long. No, I only have until like 2:30, so I don't really have too long today, but it will be enough. It'll be enough. So obviously a lot, we have a lot to look forward to. 2 signings the other day for the Eagles. Elijah Moore, wide receiver, Played for a few teams, only 25 years old. Played for the Bills at the end of the year. Had some snaps with the Bills, had some snaps with Denver, I think last year. Good locker room guy, has played a lot in the slot. Could probably be in competition, most likely for that number 4 wide receiver 4 spot, most likely 2 wide receiver 5. So I think it brought in some pretty good competition there. It's just his depth side. I mean, Fred Johnson was great. We just talked about it. I pretty much was like, I guarantee Fred Johnson's going to get re-signed because he's going to be dirt cheap. And they signed him the other day. So now you got your swing tackle, which is really good. So at least you got some depth on offensive line for the year, which is awesome. Always can rely on Big Fred for a lot of stuff, which is great. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Real Rich, what's going on? Joey, we're running some 4 wide receiver sets play. I see it. Yeah, I think this is, who knows? He could come in as a situational receiver on third down or something like that. So at least you have a pure slot guy, which is great. He's played both outside, inside, but he's got a lot of experience on the inside, which is awesome. Arthur, what's going on, buddy? Good morning. What's going on, buddy? EJB, Donnie, Nathan, what's going on? Exclude, what's going on? What's going on, buddy? Exclude trash. Reese says, with more even making the roster, if so, who is the odd man out if they invested time, money, and draft capital into Johnny Wilson? I don't know. Depending if they keep, I don't know. Johnny Wilson could be the odd man out. I'm not sure. Elijah Moore could be the odd man out. I'm not sure. Johnny Wilson needs to stay healthy. If he starts getting hurt or misses any type of time, I think he's already fucking gone. I think if he even misses a few weeks of camp, like, he's going to be behind once again, and I think he'll pretty much be gone at that point. So, Roll Philly Dog, what's going on, buddy? Says, Joey, I don't hate the Moore sign, but if it's just because AJ's a friend, I think we're placated too much for AJ's emotion. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's the most weird situation. Like, Elijah Moore and AJ Brown have a really good relationship. He helped him with, the suicidal stuff that he was going through a few years ago. Not even a few years ago, but I think it was like 2020 or something like that. I forgot what year he was kind of dealing with that. I think when he was in Tennessee, I know that I think he hosted AJ Brown on a visit at Ole Miss. And there's a lot of video on both of them working out. And I know Devontae Smith, Elijah Moore, and AJ Brown have worked out in the off seasons before. So it's just weird how, like, the one guy they do sign at wide receiver is, like, in connection to AJ Brown, is that close to AJ Brown. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. I really hope the Eagles draft a safety and a corner, an edge in this draft. Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Corner. A corner. I don't think so, but maybe a corner in the later rounds. I think they're good depth wise at cornerback, unless they want to draft another guy in the mid rounds. So I think that makes sense. Rich said Moore played with Ole Miss and AJ Brown in 2018. Okay, so it does make sense. Okay. Timmy said we are all being duped. AJ isn't going anywhere. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Frankly, the more we don't hear, the more I'm gonna zip it and just see what happens. Because I just don't want to speculate any more on it than what it is until, like, something actually realistic comes out on the situation with AJ Brown. Nate's is super glad to see Fred back. Hell yeah, dude. I remember, dude, that game in 24 against the Bengals against Trey Hendrickson, man. Like, he's solid. He's solid, man. He's good. It's a good signing, so thank God. Dorian says, go Birds from Cincinnati. What's going on, Dorian? Hey, Joseph, thanks for all the live streams, Joey. I'm a plumber, so you keep me entertained between calls to drive across town. Hey, keep working, man. Keep making that money, dude. Keep making that money. You know what I mean? I got to do my taxes today at around 3 o'clock today. Roll says, Joey, we got to get Arbation Thomas. I know you see it too. Yeah, look, as a rotational depth guy, I like Arbation Thomas, the edge rusher from Oklahoma. We just watched some tape on him the other day, and yeah, he looks great. He's got a quick first step, has explosives off the line. I think it comes down to his metrics. I think his metrics, he's not a real lengthy edge rusher, but he's at perfect size. So could be a guy that they could get in the mid rounds. I mean, edge rusher is going to be interesting because whether they get Danny Denson, that Romello height from Texas Tech that they brought in, um, they're missing a key piece on signing Grenard. Grenard has left some interesting messages the last few days that kind of got us a little not like nervous, but I mean, if I could find it here. Yeah, I mean, he's been leaving a bunch of pictures on his Instagram of him in a Vikings uniform, him like a pregame. There was one, where was it? There was one, yeah, it was a few days ago where he was in the building because he took a picture of I guess he took a picture of obviously something from the wall inside the building. So he's been taking a lot of pictures of himself in Vikings colors. You know what I mean? Or putting up video of himself doing stuff like that. So here's another one. He made like this is a little video that he put up on Instagram. This is another one. So, if a post game trade, a post June trade would give the Vikings more cap space. I feel like the reason why this is being pushed right now is because multiple teams are interested. And obviously, before they trade him, a new deal has to be done. And we know the Eagles, we know the Colts, we've heard the Patriots very little. It's kind of swayed away right now. Jacksonville has had interest in him too. So I don't know what direction it's really going in, man. Like if they don't get Grenard, then I wonder if they'll go for Travon Walker. I wonder what his contract looks like if they'll actually go for him. And I just don't see them going edge rusher in the first round. I just can't imagine that. Second round, sure. I think you have to replenish that edge rushing position because Nolan Smith is going to be gone after this year. They're not giving him a 5th-year extension. They're not giving him, they're not picking up his option, his 5th-year option, and they're not giving him an extension. So I have to say that they want to replenish that position, get somebody here long term because we only really have 2 edge rushers here long term. You know what I mean? Jalix Hunt's going to have to get paid at some point. Whatever they do with that, I'm not really sure. It doesn't have the best, it has good numbers, but not as a premier top quality, above average on the, like a Myles Garrett or a Crosby type seasons that he's having. But, he'll get paid a nice penny, most likely. So that's where I'm kind of at with that. Let's see here. Ricky says the reason I say get a corner is because Reek is probably on a 1-year deal and probably going to end up getting paid balling out for us. Yeah, but do you want to? I mean, that's the problem is like there's a lot of players. Some players are on 1-year deals. Like you're not drafting a cornerback high and then sitting him for the year and then waiting a whole year for him to start. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. Wyatt says, honestly, do you think Brown truly quit the playoff game? Each pass was right at him or in the hands. I've never seen him drop catches. Also, that one slant he had didn't even put no effort. Yeah, I mean, you could be right. I mean, I think he was in his own head at that point. I mean, not even just the wild card game. Look at that Chargers game. The Chargers game right into the end zone. Ball was right in his fucking hands. Jalen Hurts dropped a dime on A.J. Brown. And, yeah, I mean, couldn't bring it in, man. Couldn't bring it in. Well, so if Bain drops past 10, I think Howie should go get him. I would love that guy. If Vega is off the board, I would draft him. If Vega is off the board, I would draft Bain. I'll be doing a video on him soon as well because I've been wanting to do a video. I mean, he's the best edge rusher of this draft. The best one. I mean, he should be going top. If he makes it past 10, it would be really interesting, no doubt. Anything later than that, I'm not really sure, but I guess we'll see. Let's see. Donnie says Danny Sutton in the second would be a good pick. I think it would be a steal pick. I think it would be a steal pick. So I think he'd be more of an impact. I think he'd be an impact day one, honestly. I think he's better than a lot of the other edge rushers in the mid round. I think he could be a rotational guy in Philadelphia, but I think he'll do a little bit more damage. At a BK you have from the Falcons, Josh Sweat, they'll probably bring Brandon Graham back, and hopefully they'll trade for somebody, so we'll see. Dasha Joey, what do you think of getting an offensive lineman the first? Do you like Monroe? Yeah, if they were able to get Freeling or Vega, I would be fucking happy. So I'm not sure if you have Thieneman, if you have one of those top two safeties that's available, and you have Freeling that's already there. That's going to be a really tough one for me. If it's I think it's Vega over every player of the first. Vega has just got way too much. He's way too talented. He is a high prospect. You can't really pass. I'll pick Vega over a corner. I'll pick Vega over a safety. Vega is probably my favorite pick in the first round if he's there. If it's Monroe Freeling versus safety, it's a tough one to me. He's another guy. There's a lot. I mean, it's really hard to draft guys that are immediate impacts, but offensive line wise, I think this is the perfect moment where you could double dip if you really want to at offensive line. Freeling is, I don't know if he could play right guard right now. I'm not sure if they'll put him at right guard. That's the only problem I'm having with him, because if he can't play right guard, then they're going to have to sit him for a year. You know what I mean? So I don't want to sit an offensive lineman for an entire year, waste an entire year. Eagles and Censor, what's going on, man? Yeah, so Eagles and Censor, because I know, the Jesse Bates situation is starting to pop up a little bit. Now, Jesse Bates is still out there, and the Falcons front office, the regime has totally changed in Atlanta, okay? Jesse Bates is still out there, Pro Bowl player. Wondering if, the Eagles are, maybe they're not drafting a safety early this year. Maybe they're waiting on a veteran to pair up with Makuba. Maybe they trade for him or something. I don't know. They're going to want some type of substantial amount of draft capital. So that's why I feel like it's not as realistic, but it's a player that's out there that's still available. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're going to put too much money into that position, because you got to pay Coop. You got to pay Quinyon Mitchell. That's what's kind of lingering over us. And it's not a bad problem. It's not a bad problem. It's actually a really good problem. Reese says Hurts is not the most accurate quarterback. Would you agree? So why is Howie citing sub 6 foot tall wide receivers with limited catch radius? I don't agree with that at all. I think Hurts is a great quarterback. Hector says, "What up, Joey? What's going on, Hector?" Eva says, "Good morning, Joey. What's going on, buddy?" Val says, "What up, Joey? I told Phil yesterday that I thought that AJ might have been dealing with some personal mental things. That was before Moore was signed. You think he was signed to AJ would have this?" I mean, if the Eagles are catering and signing a receiver to help AJ, then I don't really know. I mean, this guy has no control over what he's doing, at least if we found out some news on he's been having some personal struggle, or I understand it's private and I'm not expecting that to be out in the news like crazy. So out of respect, I get all of that, but it's just weird how they sign a receiver that's really close to the AJ Brown situation or close to that player. I don't know if it's for that specific reason, but it's kind of weird at the same time, Brown said AJ is still getting traded. More is about running the man. He insisted people forgetting Green Bay had 4 Swiss Army knives at Wicks, Dobbs, Reed, and Golden. One boom, wide receiver Watson. Yeah, I mean, they're deep at receiver in Green Bay. Still deep. Even without Romeo Dobbs there, they're still deep. So he might get still traded. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there's nothing that's clearly telling me he's getting traded, and there's nothing, nothing that's clear is telling me he's not getting traded either. So it's still a big question mark. And to me, it's about 50-50, Michael says AJ's support system around him. I mean, the Eagles did that when they drafted Jordan Davis for Jalen Carter, because Carter looked up to Jordan Davis. Kind of keeps, Jalen Carter in line, So I'm a bit confused, Shakes. I've been seeing my content creators on social media that signing Moore means AJ is staying, so it's because him and Moore are best friends. Well, isn't AJ best friends with Jalen? Yeah, like I said, dude, that's what everybody's gonna fucking say. That's what everybody's gonna fucking say. I don't get some of these content creators that put fucking news like that. I don't know. Maybe because AJ Brown's just getting clicks at this point. So, you know what? Might as well just make a video on some stupid shit and say, because they're best friends, they're catering to AJ Brown, not only trying to trade him to his favorite team, but now they're going to cater to him and bring in one of his best friends at wide receiver. I don't know. Yeah, well, Jalen threw 4 picks. It's also how we might end up paying Nolan Smith. He's homegrown talent, and how he does prioritize trenches both. He's not going to pay Nolan Smith. I guarantee you 100% he's not paying Nolan Smith unless it's really fucking cheap, unless it's like very cheap because he's not playing like a first round pick. He hasn't garnered my respect as a player, personality, everything that as a dog mentality type player. I think he's perfect. His play is not really, he's a first round pick, guys. First rounder. He's playing like a fourth round pick right now. Okay. At the end of 24, he played really well. But other than that, he gets his pressure percentages. But as a first round edge rusher, the sack numbers have got to be there, man. He's not immediate impact. He's just not, rotational, sure. And another thing is he's never available. He's almost like Nakobe Dean getting hurt all the time, except Nakobe Dean produced and Nolan Smith really doesn't. You know what I mean? As to why did we sign another receiver? Well, we need depth. We do need depth. We really don't have much there. It's your starting three. If AJ Brown is here, it's Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. You have Hollywood Brown. You have Darius Cooper, and now you have Elijah Bordell. So you need more depth. You have Johnny Wilson. So now you have 6. The Eagles will probably keep 5 receivers. So there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more bodies coming to camp regardless. So, bro, it's the same reason we have to have a backup QB depth, bro. The Baptist says the wide receiver room is decent right now. I think it's fine. It's getting there. Howie has added more. He's added more depth at tight end, which is good. More competition at tight end, even though they still need to draft the future. They have depth at tight end for competition. They put more depth at running back with David Pierce, which is good. So they've added a little bit more. And speaking of numbers, I know there's been some jersey changes, I think, as the last day. So let me put that up real quick. I'm trying to find more. I think Tank Bigsby changed his number to number 8, if I'm not mistaken. I know Reek Woolen changed his jersey number to number 2. Edebike changed his number to Nakobe Dean's number at I think number 17. I think those are the only ones so far that have changed as of right now. So hold on one second. Let's see. Carl says the big move is coming during the draft. Yeah, it might. The Eagles might pull off a trade. It might happen. You never know. Jude said, to be honest, I think Moore doesn't make the team. I mean, he might not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's really looked like. I mean, he's been to a few teams. He really hasn't found a home the last few years. A second-round pick from the Jets in 2021. I would have to say that Joe Douglas had a big hand in this because Joe Douglas was the GM to the Jets when they did draft him. So we'll see how it goes. It was how he's going to let Nolan walk if he has a breakout year, maybe use a 5th year and go from there. Yeah, I mean, if he has if he can get me 6 to 8 sacks this year, I'll be happy. And maybe, just maybe, they'll pick up his 5th year option at 14, 15 million, whatever it's going to be. So it might make sense. It might make sense in that regard. Let's see. DJ says it's simple. If another team is willing to pay whatever Howie's asked for AJ Brown, will be traded. If they don't want to pay, AJ will stay, and it'll be no less than a first-round pick and a sweetener. I agree 100%. The Eagles want that first-round pick for 27. If the Eagles are not getting that, and I don't even care what's connected to it, a second-rounder, a couple seconds, a third, another first, I don't know what's going to be connected to that. But watching some of these trades like Jalen Waddle, what they're going for, DJ Moore, some of these other receivers are going for second-round picks. Late first, that should be seconds in Denver's case, to a third and a fourth rounder, whatever it was for the for that fucking signing, for that trade. I mean, look at JSN. He just got paid fucking $43 million a year. He just got paid an extra like 12, 13 million. Highest paid wide receiver in history. $43 million a year. Now, I mean, thank God we don't really have to worry about receiver, because either if you lose AJ Brown, you draft one. You don't really have to resign any receivers to big money, which is good because, those receivers are getting expensive too now. Now everybody is going to want to, everybody right now is going to want to get paid that type of money. So, see. Yeah, BG should be coming back. Yeah, he should be coming back. No, I mean, no, there's not gonna be any type of rush for him to come back. Maybe mid training camp, something like that. He'll be back, so we'll see. What's up, Bryce? Reese says, "Well, JD broke out, and people said everything under the sun about him and his condition. Look how much he's improved. I'm sure no one could do some. Yeah, but he's at the end of his contract now. He hasn't really improved at all. That's the difference. JD has improved. He has improved, and Nolan hasn't really. But he's like I said, Nolan Smith has been not even available for the. He hasn't been available. At least like Jordan Davis has been healthy relatively. So you know what I mean." Now, I said Jeff McClain to report AJ Worth went down when the Rams backed out, so hope that's not true. Yeah, I'm not going to believe any of that. They don't know shit, dude. If they knew anything, they would give us some more critical, they would give us some more news that was more patent, but, you know. He goes, I said, yeah, it's fair to say Nolan is another Derek Barnett. I just figured Edge is probably the bigger priority at the moment over safety, but we'll see what we do here. Yeah, it just depends if they make the trade for Grenard, and if they don't, then yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to go after another guy like Trevon Walker, or I don't even know who else. There might be a name out there at edge rusher. We're not even talking about that's got like a year or two left on their contract. Extend to a bigger contract, maybe a guy on a rookie deal still. We haven't heard much on Josh Sweat ever since he wanted to trade, and it's been pretty quiet on that front with all that news. So, I was also Justin Simmons 1 year chip deal with the Eagles, no draft one. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I'm kind of off that train. You could. I don't know what other safeties are really available right now. I mean, I don't know how much he's gonna want either. These older, veterans, they want, to be compensated pretty well. So I don't know if the Eagles want to spend a big chunk of money at that position and throwing in a veteran. They're gonna have to sacrifice that safety position, maybe. And like I said, they might say, hey, we threw Makuba in there and he done well. I understand Reed was next to him last year. But they might have to go a different direction. So we'll see. Let's see here. Robert said, "What if Nolan Smith is traded during the draft? Maybe I missed it. Yeah, maybe he could be. Like I said, somebody in the chat said he could be a deal sweetener, and he most likely could be. So DJ Aglo says Nolan Smith is an upgrade over Derek Barnett for us, and lack of penalties, yards alone. Barnett plays well for the Texans now. BG also developed late. Nolan Smith still has potential. Yeah, but I don't know if a year is going to cut it. A year for me is not going to cut it unless he gets like double digit sacks this year, or he gets like 8 to 11 sacks. Like that's where I'll feel a lot better if they do want to side him. Unfortunately, we're looking at edge rusher right now. We're trading for an edge rusher right now, or trying to, because the Nolan Smith pick is haunting us, and it is. It's haunting us right now. You know what I mean? You got rid of Reddick. You got rid of Reddick so he can get paid somewhere else. Reddick is still out there as an option as well. I made a video on that a couple days ago on Hassan Reddick. He's only garnished like 2 sacks really since he left Philadelphia, maybe 3 sacks, not really much between the Jets and going to Tampa Bay for a couple years. And he's older now, so I don't know how much juice he has left in the tank. So I'm not really sure on that front if he even could do anything here. Um, you know. Yo, Sean Mans, what's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing good. How's it going this morning? It's going good, man. It's going good. They suspected it. Sweat seemed like easy layups. I don't know. Sweat's not an easy layup because he just had 12 sacks last year, and God knows what you're gonna have to give up for him. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's easy as everyone thinks it is. Ricky says, really the only concern for Nolan is health, but JD started showing up on the stat sheet while playing on the 5th-year option. I'm just saying the Eagles should allow Nolan the same opportunity. Well, no, the 5th-year well, he'd be playing on his 5th-year option this year. So he played way better earlier, way earlier. Okay. I think he showed promise in 23. He showed a little bit of promise in 23 where they started, using him in pass rush just a little tiny bit, but he still needed work. His motor wasn't great. And his weight issue and what was going on. 24, I thought was very promising from him. He got in more of the rotation. I thought it was I just see his statistics going up every single year. 25, it was his best year, obviously. So I don't think it's the same type of production you're talking about between Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith. I think these are two different players right now. I don't think they're similar, and I don't think they're really similar in too many ways that you think they're similar. But we'll see. Yo, so what's going on, buddy? Yeah, Reddick's out there. Yeah, I can see Nolan being traded to the Raiders for their picks and do a Nolan a favor keeping him with Dean. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it would be dirt cheap to trade Nolan to the Raiders for like a pick, a mid round pick or something, if that's what they want to do. If you want to straight up just get rid of Nolan, I mean, they could do that. I mean, I think they're going to keep him. I think he's only a sweetener type trade. I don't think they're just going to trade Nolan Smith. I don't think that's ever going to happen by himself. Probably not. You know, the JS, what's going on, buddy? So, yo, Joey, what's going on, buddy? Meanwhile, Mike said, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing good. On this Wednesday morning. Reese says, I still think that if we had someone to pair with Nolan, it would give a better opportunity, like how Jalen Phillips helped out the defense. Yeah, you know, I just don't know Nolan's future, and for me, as worthy of a big extension, I just don't see it. I don't know if 1 year is going to change my mind because there got to be some type of consistency with it. You know what I mean? At least with Jordan Davis, there was buildup of consistency the last, I would say, from 23 on, there was some buildup of consistency. It was getting there. And now I feel like Jordan Davis is pretty much at full form, and I don't think he's even reached his ceiling yet. I think he's going to play even way better this year. You know, EJ says, hey, Joey, I don't hate the O line idea, but I'd much rather a safety or edge rushers or so immediate impact. But I get the O line. Yeah, I get it. Offensive line's not the sexy pick, but without that, your offensive line is going to be shit, dude, for years. Okay, you don't know the health of Dickerson. You don't know the health of Jurgens. There's a lot of questions. I don't care if they went to fucking. I don't care if they went outside the country to get some IVs for stem cells. Okay, you got to build your offensive line. You got to do it. And drafting Vega or Freeling or whoever they can play, whoever they draft is playing this year. Is playing at right guard this year. It is either kicking out to right tackle, whether it's a tackle playing inside or it's Vega playing. That's a left guard playing right guard because he definitely was brought in for a top 30 visit. So, um, you know what I mean? So Eagles got to get younger and they have to do a retool. They have to do really not even a retool. They got to start rebuilding that offensive line like right now. The Eagles haven't really touched the position the last few years, but these guys have taken a toll. The tush pushes and their bodies have been getting damaged the last few years. And we saw just how withered they looked this season, this past year. You know what I mean? Let's see. Sean says, I think our O line is missing Becton. Yeah, I mean the problem with Becton is they got to pay him, dude. They got to pay him. You know. King says we are. Why are us Philly fans so obsessed with reunions of previous players? Becton is coming without Stalin. Yeah, well, Fred Johnson's coming back without Stalin, and Fred Johnson was produced by Stalin, so I don't think it means anything because Stalin's gone. Stalin is going to be a part of this organization regardless. He's coming back. Lane Johnson said on the WIT podcast like last week that Stalin is coming back. We just don't know the job he's going to be overtaking with the Eagles. So Eagles said, yeah, I understand DJ and your point is valid, but no, this is an upgrade in my eyes. They are about the same. Yeah, can we have a BG improvement? Yes, but it's hard to say. Not in 1 year. Look, if he came off of 24 and had like a 6-sack season in 25, then I would say there is improvement. But I think he had like maybe a sack. His pressure percentage was there, but like people are just forgetting that he's just a first round pick edge rusher, man. Like first round pick edge rushers need to do a lot more than what he's been doing, and he's not available. And I understand that injuries aren't his fault, but if he's not available, he's not available. And we can't trust his body, to pay him big money. I mean, you're not going to be like, he'll let's just pay him. And then, I know he could still do something the next few years. No, that's not how it goes, man. You can't even stay available. That's my number one problem with Nolan Smith. So when you're injured and then you're coming back and then you have to and then it takes like a few weeks to kind of get back to your normal self. It's not easy to come back from fucking injuries every time. You keep missing time and then you're behind and then you have to catch up and then it's going to take a few weeks to kind of get back to where you are. So, Where you have the Eagles sign Bosa, they will compare him with Chris Longside. He has no Chris Long. No. Joey Bosa? Fuck no. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't even touch that. Passing on Vega would be the biggest mistake they made. They would be stupid to pass on him. He's probably the fourth best player in this fucking draft. Third to the fourth best player in this draft. Okay. And because he's an inside lineman, okay, because he's a guard, the positions are going to be taken early is obviously quarterback, tackles, edge rushers will be taken early. So it could move him down. It could move him down the board a little bit. If he passes 12, 13, I would take a swing and pick up that phone and try to get up there if you can. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. We need regardless, we need Lane or we need Dickerson, regardless. So if they draft Vega, he obviously won't be a tackle. He will play guard, and then maybe right guard for this year next to Lane, and then he'll switch to to left guard in a couple years after 27, to take that spot. So it doesn't matter who they get the replacement for. It could be for Dickerson or it could be for Lane. Regardless, I'm fine with it. As long as they get somebody for one of those replacements, it doesn't matter what order. He was essentially, if you wanted me to change my mind at Nolan, he needs to produce at least 10 sacks this year and know he can produce pressure consistently and be a disruption 1 year can change my mind. Yeah, it can. It can. I don't know if 1 year could change my mind too much, but if he gets numbers like that, then it's going to be very intriguing. Because if the guy gets hurt and he misses like 4 or 5 weeks, he comes back, he does a little bit. Not going to feel too much. Yeah, Vega's the Penn State guy. Yes. Just if somebody asks if we get Vega, I'd rather him at left guard and move Dickerson to well, no, that's definitely not happening. Vega could play both guard spots. You're not changing Dickerson out of position. So definitely not doing that. Sue says if JD can continue to learn pass rush and be a 3-down lineman, not just a first and a second, he is going to be great for a long time. Yeah. And look, I think the pass rush will get there with him. When teams leave him not doubled, I mean, yeah, it's a huge mismatch. But look what he's done as a nose tackle for us on 4th down, 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. He's made some big stops. And at special teams, he's got a lot of value too. He's blocked a couple field goals too. You know what I mean? It brought one in for a touchdown. So Jordan Davis is well deserving of the money that he's getting, no doubt. You know what I mean? But you have Jalen Carter coming back. You're going to have a monster coming back next to him, which he should have a big fucking year. Now both his shoulders are cleaned up and he's training his ass off now. So, TJ, here's how Nolan Smith gets extended. Edge rusher trade talks fall through 2. The Eagles draft the plug-in safety or a trade for 3. Nolan Smith gets 7+ coverage sacks this season. Yeah, maybe. I gotta see it with my own 2 eyes to really believe that he's at full form. If I feel like he's not, or if he gets hurt one more time this year and he misses weeks, as soon as he gets hurt and he's out like 4 to 5 weeks and can't do anything after that, I'm pretty much done. I'm slowly being done with Nolan Smith at this point. So he says we want them back because they were good starters or sneaky good depth. Other teams saw it. They just didn't know how to use it. So yeah, let's take them back. See here. Sean says, what take loan in the first, move Dickerson to center and Jergy to right? Why? Why you moving so many guys? Why do you want to move so many guys? I mean, Jergy to right guard isn't a bad idea, but then they have to find a center. And like I don't think you're gonna move Dickerson, move Jurgens, then move Dickerson. I don't know if they're doing all that. Lone could fucking play left and right guard. I don't know why people are like feel like we got to move all these guys. Lone could play left and right, so it's perfectly fine. Yeah, Monster's the best ability is availability, which Nolan Smith really doesn't have that much. Could Reddick come back? I don't know, man. He's out there, but is he an immediate impact still? That's really the big question. Since he left the Eagles, he hadn't done shit. In 3 years, I don't know how long it's been. He had since 22, since 2022, since 23. For the 23 season, what he left in 23, he hasn't really done too much. DJ says, let's see. Yes, Vega is a guard for Penn State. Very realistic the Eagles drafted. Very unrealistic that the Eagles draft Tyed Sadiq, though. Yeah, I mean, Sadiq is going to be. Yeah, I don't. I'm not really on the train anymore as I kind of was. I would love it. Because Goddard is back, there's a lot. Like Delp will go in the first round. I like Michael Trigg in the second. I like Matt Roush. I like Max Clare. I mean, there's a lot of tight ends in this draft. Delp's value is up there now, so I don't know if the Eagles will be drafting him in the first round. But I think there's a lot of second round guys to third round. It's pretty deep. I think they can get their future easily. So I'm not gonna go all in on Sadiq unless like he gets real close. And if Vega's gone, I'll draft Sadiq if he gets close within 6-7 picks. I'll trade up and go get him. You know, and he definitely can is what I'm saying. Dickerson came out of college as a center, but Stout moved him to guard. Yeah, I know you could do that, but I don't think the Eagles are moving. You don't want to move too many pieces. Like the one thing you don't want to do is move so many fucking pieces. Yeah, I understand. There's a lot of players that used to play other positions in college, but they're not moving them there. Dickerson is 100% not moving the center. I'll be shocked if that even happens, to be honest. So Jurgens being undersized, I don't think his back is ever going to hit. Yeah, I mean, I think he's retiring in a couple of years. I think that restructure, when he was supposed to be a free agent after 28, now he's a free agent after 27 now. You know what I mean? Where he said, "Hey Joey, I would love to see the Eagles draft Oregon tight." I mean, I would love it. Who would the Oregon tight end? I don't know who the Oregon tight end is. Unless I don't. I don't know who the Oregon tight end is. I'm not saying to move them to center. One guy said, "Should they read, buddy? Don't jump on someone." Ricky says Vegas not falling because there are teams that are willing to draft in the first for one player, then trade back up in the first again for another player. I think the Eagles will have more of a chance because he's not a tackle, because he is a guard, and guards necessarily don't go too early. So, so I'm not saying like it's promising, but I'm saying that there is a chance. There is a chance. So we'll see. We will see. John said, but yeah, I agree. Dickerson will be gone next year because of injuries. Yeah, he'll be gone after. He'll play for 2 more years. He'll play this year or next year. So John said, because if we don't move up, the best G's and tackles will be gone. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I don't know who's going to be like. I don't know who's going to be left. I mean, I don't know if the Eagles come out of this first round without an offensive lineman, they let everybody slide. Then I don't know. Then that's going to be really tough for me because then they missed out. I mean, they got to draft offensive line that first round. I'm still on that train of drafting offensive line. They got to draft somebody, whether it's Lane's replacement or it's Dickerson's replacement. That's going to play like right now. Caden Proctor, I think, is the only one that maybe will be at 23. That I think he's more of a trade back candidate, to be honest with you. Some say he's not good for Mannion's scheme. I can't, I could say the same thing about, Fred Johnson coming in as a depth piece that has to start for some games, God forbid, because of injury. But I thought Fred was fine. I think Proctor is more athletic. I think he's faster. I think he's pulling his way better. So I don't know if I would draft Caden Proctor at 23. I'd probably move back a little bit, but I know that they do like him. So if everybody's gone, Proctor could be there at that point, Tracy, I think you put him at the right guard. If Dickerson ends up not being healthy, then you move him to left guard and let Steed play right guard. Yeah, maybe. So we'll see. That's what you do. You put him, if you draft Vega, you put him at right guard. Let Steen be a backup right guard for the year. And then move him to left guard. So we'll see. Rivers is Vega not dropping. We'll see. I don't see guards go that high. I mean, dropping, what do you call dropping? You think he's top 10 as a guard? I don't think he's top 10. I just don't see him I don't see a guard getting drafted top 10. I don't see it. I think once he gets past 10, I think that's where he'll get drafted. Between 11 to 14, I think he'll probably get drafted. So we'll see how it goes. If there's a team that's like can't pass up on him, then they will draft him there. But because he's a guard and not a tackle, I feel like he will move down a little bit. So we'll see. Who knows? You could be right. There might be a team that doesn't give a shit. So you might be right. You guys listen, do you think we move up for Vega or Sadiq? Sadiq, no. If he gets past 12, 13, which probably not going to happen, we'll see. Vega, I think they have interest, so they definitely have interest. Shawbad says, I'm still not too confident in Steed, though. Anyone else? I think he's okay. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's the worst. I don't think he's the worst guard in the world, but I think he's capable. I think he's fine. Can they do better at that position? Sure. Troy Ray says, hey, Joey, any thoughts on Kendrick Falk from Auburn? I haven't looked at him, so I'm not sure. I haven't looked at him. He says, Joey's off-season work is how I originally found the channel back when you started doing Welcome to Philly videos for the drafts. Holy shit. Your uploads, live streams are appreciated. That's a long time, dude. Back in the day, I used to do a lot of work, and then I stopped doing them because they kept getting. I stopped doing the highlight videos because they got taken down a lot. Like a lot of use a lot of clips from college. Like a lot of them don't like. I stopped doing it because the music either was getting the video was getting taken down because of the music or it was the fucking highlight. So it got it got it got a little annoying, so I stopped doing it. Suggested a Moxie Blair and Lone dropped to 21. Yeah, I wish if Lone dropped to 21, it would be over. It would be over. We would have him. Marquis Scott says, do we have Quez Watkins? I see him on the depth chart along with the. Oh, yeah, we do have Quez. So we do have Quez. We have Devontae, AJ, if he stays, Hollywood Brown, Darius Cooper, Elijah Moore, Johnny Wilson, and now you have Quez Watkins. Yeah. So now you got like 6-7 receivers now, which is good. Good competition for that fourth and fifth spot. Eventually, I think we'll see 4 to 5 linemen in the first 20 picks. That's why they got to move up. They got to trade up regardless. No one is going to fall into their hands at 23. They got to trade up. Like, look, last year they tried trading up 6 to 7 spots. They tried trading up 6-7 times before Jahad Campbell landed in our lap. So they got to do that again in this draft, probably. Sue said the last guard drafted in top 10 was Quentin Nelson. Holy shit. 2018. Damn. I love the highlight videos you put out for members only. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the memberships, go to the pinned comment section. Go grab a membership. We're going to have membership-only live stream. Still waiting on badges and the stickers and stuff. It will be coming soon, just taking time because I'm having them. I've hired a freelancer to go make them for me, so I appreciate it so much. Go grab a membership up there for extra content. If you want members-only live streams, extra content, it's all there. A lot of draft content is up mostly every day. So definitely go check it out. And you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like the stream if you guys haven't. Just hit that like button. It does help out tremendously. But definitely go grab a membership. And building on the memberships, want to build more. So I appreciate it. Email Mike says, watching some fall clips, explosive but struggles in blocking. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the draft content's coming. I mean, I'm really doing videos on mostly on the top 30 visits. So every top 30 visit the Eagles have, I'm pretty much doing content on there. I mean, everything else right now with the draft is just pure speculation. You know what I mean? So I've done videos on Vega. I've done videos on Kenyon Sadiq. I've done videos on obviously Dennis Sutton, some of the edge rushers in the mid rounds, Romello Height. We just did a membership video on R. Mason Thomas, the edge rusher from Oklahoma. Did some membership stuff on that. So there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there mid-round, at least second day to the mid-round for the Eagles when it comes to edge rusher. They've been doing a lot of homework there. I could definitely tell, Tony says, I would love to get Vega, but honestly, I think he will already be gone by 23. But again, nice thing about Blake Miller is he can play anywhere on the O-line besides center. Yeah, Blake Miller from Clemson is another one of the Eagles. So would the Eagles... Would he be more of a trade back candidate in the late first? Maybe a team that's desperate enough to move up in that first round? I mean, shit. If they get if this AJ Brown trade goes through, I would get a 27 first, obviously, for him. And that's what we kind of been waiting for, the compensation. If there's a trade back candidate, like, I don't know if Blake Miller will be a trade back candidate, Proctor will be a trade back candidate, then maybe you can get another first round pick for for 27. So you could have like 3 first round picks in 27. If that AJ Brown trade goes down, they could likely trade back if there's not enough blue chip players that are there by 23 or that they can't move up in the draft. So it should be interesting, you know. Yeah, Chris Bell is one of my favorite receivers in this draft. Obviously, had an ACL injury. Not I don't know if it was a couple years ago. He should be a first round pick this year, but he's gonna drop to the second day of the draft most likely. Almost the same metrics as AJ Brown, probably a little bit faster. I mean, I think AJ and him ran a 4.4, something like that. Metrics are pretty identical. Pretty identical. I think he weighs a little tiny bit less, but he is a little bit taller. I like Chris Bell a lot. I really do like him. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Let's see if that's true. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, AJ's gone, dude. Let's see. Did they bring Chris Bell in? That's big. So that's two. If that's true, that's two fucking receivers. But I don't see it though. I don't see it. I'm trying to see if this is fucking hilarious, bro. Diana Rossini won Sports Radio WIP's Eagles Insider of the Year. Fuck. I guess anybody can get that fucking job. Anybody can win that fucking award. Fuck is that, dude? I don't see any news on Chris Bell. Unless you're talking combine, I don't really put too much. I don't really put too much in combine stuff because they really meet with everybody. You know what I mean? So if they brought in, if we see news that Chris Bell was brought in, yeah, then yeah, I mean that's already 2 receivers and like 6 on the top 6 top 30s. And that's kind of nuts if that's the case. That's kind of nuts. So I don't see the news though. I don't see it. Somebody tag me on X. I don't see it. I see no news on Chris Bell. Where is it? The case of Louisville stand Chris Bell told reporters after his here it is. Is this it? Told after his pro day yesterday he's going to Philadelphia today for a pre-draft visit with the Eagles. Bell, talented 6'2", 220 pounds. Holy shit. Yo, he's fucking gone, dude. Yo, he's fucking gone. AJ's fucking gone, dude. He is fucking gone. Yeah, he's gone. Damn. That's crazy, dude. I mean, I'm happy that they're bringing him in because they got the other kid from Indiana. Now they got this kid, the Omar Cooper Jr. Now they have Chris Bell coming in for a visit. Yeah, I think this is done. I think I think it's happening. I think by June he's gonna be gone. I don't know. I mean, you got like you have a first round receiver and a second round receiver already coming in for the Eagles already. Huh. Yeah. I think it's safe to say that shit's going down. Shit's going down, guys. See. Yeah, Fields is great too. From Notre Dame, I love Fields. Malachi Fields is great. He's another one that I really like. I think he's the best when it comes to boxing out receivers, high pointing the ball, catching in traffic. I mean, I think he's like one of the best at it. You know, Joe says, "Win a job from saying dumb shit all day. Get the fuck out." Yeah, I don't know. This is the perfect draft just to go on the beat both sides of the trenches. It is for the Eagles. It is. They want to get more rotation because look, Edebike's here for 1 year. They could try to resign him after this year, but they added some void years to a few contracts to try to resign, like Reek Woolen, Edebike at edge rusher. I just don't see them really doing that. I mean, I don't know because if they have good years, we'll see. Let's see. What WK colluding with Racine to get rid of AJ. Paul says, "You think we move up for a tackle if we trade AJ?" I think they drafted. I think they drafted offensive lineman regardless. I think they drafted I think they drafted offensive lineman regardless. Honestly, yeah, Kilgore would be great from South Carolina. He's another one. I wonder if he's going to move up the draft boards. Like people are saying, he's a third to a fourth. He might move up in the late second. Someone might grab him in the late second. I think the Eagles will be in perfect position to go get him. I mean, versatile inside quarter / safety. I mean, you don't have Michael Carter after this year. Like they're trying to get a long-term answer for more versatile type players in the building. Jalon Kilgore is great. I love him. He'd be a great pick for the Eagles. You know, Joe says, I've came to the realization months ago that he's leaving. Why I don't care. I mean, that's where I'm at, dude. I mean, that's where I'm at. I honestly don't even give a shit anymore, but they're bringing in Elijah fucking Moore now, that has a close relationship with AJ Brown, but it has nothing to do with it. It's just weird how they bring in a guy that is like really good friends with AJ, which is kind of weird, and AJ's been quiet because he wants a trade to go down. So AJ's gone after this year. If he stays with the Eagles, he's gone after this year. He's gone. There's no coming back. But the problem is if you keep him this year, you're going to get, because he's going to be 29, 30 years old. He's going to be up there now. So you're not going to get him for the same draft capital that you want for this year. It's going to go down. So 100%. They got his homie Moore have to keep AJ happy this season. AJ gone next season, I believe. Who knows? By after this year, yes, if he stays, but by this season, possibly. Now Chris Bell is going in for a fucking top 30, bro. Interesting. This just got interesting. Claude says, yeah, I've been thinking he was gone already. Ricky says the draft is weird. We don't know what Howie is really going to roll. What I mean is he went linebacker in the first round last draft and never did that. And you would think like the new move for the Eagles right now would be to go get a safety in the first round, because I don't think the Eagles have ever drafted a safety in the first round. I don't think. Eagles haven't done that. Since Nick has gotten here, Jalen Hurts has gotten here, really this new regime, I mean, since 21, I mean, they really have changed Howie Roseman has really changed his philosophy on drafting, on extending. So you never know. Drafting a linebacker in the first round, never thought he would do it. But he did it, But he did it. And now you might draft a safety the first. I mean, the Eagles haven't drafted an offensive lineman in the first round in a long time. Lane Johnson, probably. I think I could be wrong. I'm trying to see if they drafted. No, I think Lane Johnson, because they drafted Lane, and Lane was supposed to be a left tackle for this team originally. They moved him to right tackle, and pretty much it was a storybook ending after that. So the Eagles haven't drafted offensive lineman in the first round in a while. They haven't drafted a safety ever. So it could go a lot of different directions. Chris Bell is now on a pre-draft visit with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the second receiver on a pre-draft visit within 6 visits already. Oh yeah, Dillard. You're right. No, you're right, Dillard. I keep forgetting. Well, I forget about Andre Dillard because that was a heavy defensive draft that year. I remember when I wasn't doing the draft, I really wasn't covering it. I was at the movie. I was actually at the movies when the draft was going down. I was at the movies that night, and I seen the pick, and I was really confused by the pick. Andre Dillard never came in for a pre-draft visit that year. I think that was the last time the Eagles actually drafted somebody where they didn't come in for a pre-draft visit. Obviously, he could stay healthy, and they redshirted him when Jason Peters was here. So, not only did they redshirt him, the guy couldn't really keep himself available. So, yeah, Dillard, it was a first rounder. I keep forgetting because he really didn't do anything. That's why I don't really even count it, to be honest with you. But this is the draft where you can have an immediate impact. You get an immediate impact player for the future. So, I think it's good. Chris said, Green Bay loves to spread the ball around. Mannion probably said, we don't need AJ. We need fast, twitchy wide receivers that are versatile. They have number one in Smitty. I think Howie is going O-line 23 and C Bell at 54. Yeah, let's see if they draft a wide receiver within the first 2 rounds, AJ's definitely gone. He's definitely gone. And you know what? I'm gonna fucking say my piece about AJ if he's officially gone, and that tells us he's officially gone. And you're going to have another receiver coming in, a homegrown talent coming into Philadelphia. He's going to be motivated. He's going to be hungry. You're going to throw him into the fire. You're going to put a lot of pressure on him. But you know what? Who fucking cares, dude? Who cares? Because you know what? I'll be very motivated myself and excited for this move. I'll be very excited for it. So, you know what I mean? I think instead of the constant AJ stuff, they should focus more on an offensive tackle. Tony Carson said, Joey, how do you feel about those rumors on trade for Atlanta safety? I mean, they're rumors. I mean, I'm not gonna get into it too much. I mean, Jesse Bates would be great, but it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you something to trade for him. So, I mean, it would be a great addition for the team. I mean, you could bring in a Pro Bowler at safety, Matt, to put him next to, put him next to a second year player and Makuba that I thought he was playing so well middle of the season before Sidney Brown broke his fucking fibula. You know, Jones, I think let's see, Savika gonna fall to Eagles at 23. They grab Jelon Kilgore the second round. Yeah, I mean, if he falls at 23, I'll be shocked. Chris Bell will be our AJ replacement. So weird to bringing him in. 2 receivers are brought in already. I understand people are going to tell me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they bring first, or to me, it kind of does. You never know. You never know. So that's the speculation part about it. You have to be interested in. Joe says we just got to trade up in the second for Besantis or a dunker for guard. Trade up for Sadiq or Thielman in first. We don't need 9 players drafted this year. No, definitely not. Because they're going to trade some picks back. They're going to trade some picks back for 27. They're going to do that. You're not drafting 9 players. Definitely, you know what I mean? So I think you're pretty I think it's pretty realistic. So Big Pickett says Bell would be great here. Good mentor to Smitty. Rewrite says Chris Scott, you think AJ is draft trade probable? Zero says Howie dodging June 1st can hit teams want AJ now. Yeah. Bazak said that's another situation. Mannion won't be better than Patullo even with the easier schedule. How do you think he's not going to be better? Anything's going to be better than Patullo, bro. What's that droning noise? Still talking about it, huh? Droning noise. Oh, I thought you meant there was something playing on my computer for a second. Thing. And look, tush push, right? There will be no discussion about the tush push at next week's NFL owners meetings. The play will be back. It's just amazing, dude. It's amazing how the tush push is not even being talked about. Not even talked about anymore because the Eagles weren't successful with it this year. And teams actually stopped it this year. And obviously the Eagles offensive line, they were not in a healthy state to run that fucking play. It hurt them even more than anything. How many turnovers did the Eagles have on tush pushes? Probably 3 or 4? I mean, you know what I mean? It's crazy, man. If the Eagles won the Super Bowl this past year, again, it would always be talked about. It would always be talked about. EJ said, you bring in his best friend that traded bye drama queen? Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a coincidence to sign Elijah Moore. That I guess it was just a fucking coincidence then. I don't know. Charles says Mannion is going to be leagues better than Patullo. Yes. I'm very optimistic about it. Because listen, the offense literally just needs to sustain drives, few first downs, few complete passes that score definitely should carry. Yeah, they just got to be average or better. I mean, that's all I'm really asking them to be this year. That's really all I'm asking for. Guys, I think Mannion is going to be the next great coach. Call me biased, but that's my own opinion. Well, no, I mean, he should be the next head coach to this team within the next couple years if he does really well. Yeah. Because other teams were using variations of it also now. Yeah, of course they are. You know what I mean? So all the teams that are bitching about it, Green Bay used it, the Bills used it. Those are the top two teams that hate they hate the play, you know? Reese, I hope AJ doesn't get traded. I really don't even care, dude. I don't hope anything. I just don't care. He gets traded, great. If he doesn't, great. I don't care. I really don't. Like I'm in this whole thing now where I'm just like I'm tired of the quietness. I'm tired that there's no statement out. I'm tired that I don't know. I'm just tired of it all at this point, you know. Nate says, "Oh boy, tush push. Jalen's not a good QB. AJ, oh, man, there's so much else going on. I know so much fucking news, bro. So much news. It never stops, dude. Never stops. Sucks that our starting defense is gone. Carr has weak shoulders. Mannion has never coached. The offense live beat. So we have a QB who's probably going to demand a recliner on the field. This guy's a fucking moron. Get out of here. This guy's a moron. Nate says Mannion depends. The second we start guessing who's called plays, Alamore, we're toast. Chris says that our offense could be a top 15. This team could be dominant. I think we're adding an elite edge rusher, so I believe our defense could be. But I'm not even worried about the defense. The defense is really the last thing I'm worried about. It's getting this offense back to where it should be. You know, I mean, that's really where I'm at. I mean, defense, I'm not worried about. You have Fangio for another year, and you see what happens. You know, Robert says, where and how are these linemen we drafted last year developing? Where or how are these linemen we drafted last year developing? I don't know. I mean, the tackle from Michigan still needs work. Cameron, the Cameron the tackle that we drafted, he missed some time this year as well, so he needs work. You know, so I mean, the kid at center should be okay. Drew Kendall should be okay as the backup setter. Hopefully, they'll have a backup setter. You know, so when you draft linemen rounds 5 to 7, you can't really guarantee too much. I mean, you drafted offensive linemen really late. I get it, you know, but I can't expect much, and you know, so they'll just have to try to produce for another offseason. We'll see how it goes. Because have you seen videos of Carter working out? His shoulders, dude, is going to be great this year. Yeah, so I have video on that. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, he's going to be great. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm hoping we trade for an edge as well. Hoping. It sucks that we hammer what WIP, but we can't argue about our issues. It's crazy. Yeah, well, you're pretty down on the entire team in general. So I think you're just speaking crazy. I think you're as crazy as they are. So that's how I feel. Chris says Mannion has coached. He hasn't called plays through the plays. Seem to like the new scheme a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think you know Saquon's excited, Lane's excited, Hurts is excited. I mean, it's a night and day feeling from when they were cleaning out their lockers at the end of 24 when Patua was hired. I mean, it's a way different approach from some of these players. Way different approach, you know. So says, why is everyone calling him Minion? I don't know. He says the offense is the issue, bro. Yeah, that's true. It is, and they gotta get better on special teams as well. Special teams isn't really helping us out either. You know, Robert said, "Well, Grenard would be okay, just not a second." No, I'm not giving up a second round pick for Grenard. Well, it's a day 2 pick, Robert, so it's not gonna be a 4th or a 5th. It's either gonna be a second round pick or a 3rd round pick. So I mean, I'm willing to give up a 3rd rounder. They still got 2 4ths. They still got 2 5ths in this draft. They got 2 4ths, 2 5ths, a 6th. I don't know if they ended up getting a 7th. No, they never did. So, I mean, the Sidney Brown trade, they got better in the draft. The Sidney Brown trade, they moved up in the 4th round by 9 spots. They moved up in the 6th round by 9 to 11 spots. They moved up a significant amount in both those rounds with the Sidney Brown trade. So, they said, yeah, the team looks good. So many fewer holes to start of the season. Hell, by week 5 with quarterback 2 and 11 with edge. We look good now going to the draft. Have high hopes. Only thing I wish the difference is head coach. And I agree. I'm not a fan of Sirianni either. Trust me. I want him gone, out of here, kaput. So if Mannion has really good play calling the next couple of years, I'm not going through this fucking stint where Nick is still going to be the head coach and we're back to square one of finding a fucking coordinator again. I'm telling you right now, if Mannion walks and becomes a head coach somewhere else, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be pissed. And if Nick gets into the play calling mid-season, save your fucking season because we're not watching this shit again this year. We're not watching this guy bury himself and you allow him to bury himself and waste an entire another fucking year. I'm not watching that shit anymore. Not doing it. Yeah, Zil says, was zero excitement, optimism when Kevin P came up to the run the offense. Zero development and growth from him. No growth and no growth from the players. And just a fucking mess, dude. Just a complete fucking mess. You know what I mean? Just I'll be pissed too. Sean says, I would love to see Sirianni go on next year. He messes without play calling every year. Hopefully not this year. The good thing about this year is that he has no idea about, he has no implication of how this, he doesn't know anything about this scheme. He's learning about the scheme with Mannion. And when Mannion was talking about the X's and O's, Sirianni said this the day before the combine. He said that when Mannion got to the table, X's and O's wise, he wanted to learn about the system. So he has no idea about the system. You're going to get in the middle of Mannion and Josh Grizzard and then start doing stupid shit. He does that again, he's fucking gone. But this GM and this owner better fucking they better interfere with what's going on if it starts going downhill and get rid of this fucking guy mid-season. You know what I mean? KSF said AJ Brown trade post, you will free up cap space, but I don't want to lose AJ unless we could get a guaranteed one. Wide receiver the draft. That's why I want Kenyon Sadiq. I think him and Smitty Wilson would be peak. I mean, you could line them up anywhere; it'd be great. But I don't know how much money they can't be saving that much money. I don't think they're saving much of anything with the what post June trade. I don't think they're saving much. But because if we weren't willing to pay $30 million for Phillips, why would we pay Grenard plus give it? Well, Grenard's not going to be $30 million a year. A new contract doesn't mean that he's going to get $30 million a year. He's due $19 million this year. He's due $19 million next year. He's not even close to that number. Then they're going to have to do a new deal. So the draft capital is going to cost a second or a third round pick. I mean, that's the news. I mean, how are the Eagles? That's the news. They've been interested in Jonathan Grenard for a while. I mean, they've been interested. So that was like their plan B approach if they couldn't sign Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips got over fucking paid beyond. You get overpaid in free agency, but he got overpaid. I mean, 2 sacks and fucking 70-something pressures, and you're coming off an ACL and a fucking an ACL and an Achilles injury 2 years prior to this past year. I mean, $30 million a year is fucking nuts, dude. See these bad teams that have deep pockets. You know, the Panthers made the fucking playoffs last year by like a thread. You know, they weren't dominating last year. You know, but it is what it is. You know, we'll see. They got to limit their options, but if they go into this draft and Grenard's not even fucking here yet, I don't even know what's going to happen. I feel like if they do draft Grenard, I don't think they're off the boat of drafting an edge rusher in the mid rounds. I still think they will draft one. If Grenard isn't here, then I feel like they're going to want somebody early in the second round. They might trade up in the second and go get a Danny Dennis Sutton from Penn State or something like that. So we'll see. Jeffrey doesn't want conversation to mess up his yacht time. Chris says, I'm telling everyone the issue with the offense is Sirianni. It's been 5 years. Steichen was huge at 22 and more at 24. The 2 years Sirianni was involved, we lost first rounds of the playoffs. Yeah, it's true. You know, I don't know how the fucking GM doesn't see this. I mean, they see this is happening. When you promote from within and hire a fucking nobody next to Nick has control over the situation, and this is what happens. You hire someone with inexperience, you're going to have a really bad collapsing fucking year. So this mistake cannot happen again. Now Mannion's hired by Nick. If Mannion doesn't work out, Nick's still gone. And if Mannion does work out, I think Nick is still gone. So I think it's a win-win regardless whether he works out or he doesn't. But it's got to look better than last year. And I feel, and look, I'm going to be realistic. I actually feel really good about, I feel good about Mannion a lot because He has a lot of concepts. LaFleur and McVay have spoke really good words on Mannion. When he gets his opportunity, he's going to flourish. Like Matt LaFleur Matt LaFleur hired Mannion on the spot. And he was a guy that didn't have much interest for a quarterback coaching job. And then there's a lot of receivers, a lot of tight ends in Green Bay that really like him. A lot of the Green Bay fans wanted Mannion to become the new offensive coordinator for Green Bay, too. They didn't want him to leave, so I think the Eagles are getting a nice gem here if it works out. I hope so, I really hope so. 19 million, right in the range they allegedly offered Phillips. 24. I mean, I don't even know if there's I have not seen an actual report of what they offered Phillips. First, it was 27.5 million. So why the fuck would he just, $3 million on the table? I don't know if if the Eagles even offered him that. 24, I probably believe a little bit more, Grenard for a third, then O-line, and someone to be a second for Smitty. Yeah, probably. If the trade is going down for AJ, then sure. Now you brought Omar Cooper. You brought in Omar Cooper from Indiana. That's been, and I think Omar Cooper is definitely going to be on the radar in the first round, especially for the Eagles, because this is a guy that, if you don't have safeties on the board, if the Toledo safety's gone, if the Oregon safety's gone, if Vega's gone, if Sadiq is gone, if they're starting to run out of players, maybe you do draft a receiver the first. I don't know. Cooper's playing with obviously one of the probably one of the best quarterbacks in college. So that obviously helps their stand on him as a receiver and what he could do on the field. But Chris Bell, I mean, it's too fucking obvious. It's looking way too obvious. This could be a due diligence type visit if AJ is traded. You know what I mean? This could be due diligence. But I don't know. 2 receivers within 6 visits is just a little alarming. D-Mac says, Joey, what's your take on acquiring more to keep AJ wide receiver, Cop, or both? I don't know, dude. Acquiring more is just for depth purposes, and that's really it. Other than that, he's a good locker room guy. Very, very good locker room guy. Could play inside, which we need more players that can play inside. He's got some speed to him. He's got some good hands. He just really hasn't found his home. He was a second-round pick. Joe Douglas was the GM with the Jets when they drafted Elijah Moore. He's got some experience, a starting experience. So, I mean, he'll be in competition for probably wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. When you have Darius Cooper, you have Johnny Wilson, you have Quez Watkins on the back end there. So it's good competition all around. How AJ's connected to it, yeah, it's there, but how much, it's just weird how a grown man could be compensated. Like, the Eagles, we'll trade you to your favorite childhood team, or we're gonna bring in a receiver that's your best friend. Hopefully, this makes you stay. I don't know. It's just too weird to me that both of these things are happening. It's a weird coincidence to me, a little bit, but most likely it's more of a depth signing, to be honest. So that's where I'm kind of at with it. T-Rose says Grenard wants his contract restructured. He wants between 22 to 25. I mean, look, if the Eagles were giving 24, then it probably will work out, most likely. So they need somebody long-term. They need somebody long-term. You have Jalix Hunt. That's going to be close to a contract sooner or later. He's long-term, but not too long. And that's it. I mean, you really don't have much on the edge as of right now. Nolan Smith is only here for one more year. I mean, it's really just Jalix Hunt. Adebike's on a 1-year deal with a void year at the end of his contract. The Eagles want to re-sign him. Adebike, I think, from the Falcons, I think he's gonna wreak havoc. I think they finally hit on somebody. I really do. Still 16.5 pressure rate, even when the Falcons drafted 2 edge rushers in the first round last year. Yeah, I think he's gonna be really good. I do. 16.5 sacks in 4 years is a rotational, but yeah, he's productive. He'll be better than what we brought in with. We try to give a chance for Josh Uche. We gave a chance to Ojulari. They kind of revived their careers a little bit. But Abike is, yeah, I know I'm saying his name wrong every time, but I've really been saying it. Nate says, well, has more to do with Julia's analytics company. It's just why would you even hire the guy in the first place? Because Frank Reich said so. I don't know. King said the offense got worse as the season went on. With Kevin P was clear of the day, lead the league in 3 and outs, lead the league in shortest time of possession, all within the same roster. Yeah, getting to the line within 2 to 3 seconds. You know, never catching the defense off balance. The defense knowing what you're doing, everything that you're doing, which keeps your offensive line more vulnerable to injuries because the defense has to jump on you every fucking play because they know what you're doing. You know, Eagles got a guy who was a QB coach in Green Bay named Andy Reid. Have you heard of him? Yeah. You know, this is I think like the Manning hire was not just a it wasn't just a hire from Nick, but I think it was a hire from Jeffrey Lurie. He likes to hire those coaches that like to be inventive within themselves, and it's very similar to Andy Reid when they hired him. So I think they like getting a guy like that. There's a ton of players falling off the definition of coaching is the problem. Sue says our offense can't be any worse than last year. Should be a good year. Yeah, hoping. Except Patullo and Sirianni was the problem. Exactly why Stalin is gone. The offensive line wasn't healthy. The Niners weren't healthy, but their coaches found a way to win the playoffs. Yeah. They got dismantled the week after that, but holy shit, dude. Holy shit. See. Nothing else here yet. Nothing else going on yet. Okay, just making sure I'm not missing anything. Nate says part of that was the late scheduling of some of those surgeries for O line. Because if Mannion can continue where Steichen left off, I will be happy. Yeah, so I think Lane said that the offense is similar to Steichen's offense. I think it's similar in that regard, which is good, really good. You know, so we'll see how it goes. We got less than a month. We're less than a month away from the draft. I mean, we're there. We're already less than a month away, which is good. You know, we're just about there as of right now. Said the Niners kicked our asses not because of the coaches. The players fucked up way more than the coaches. I think it's a little bit of both. I think the players fucked up in this game, and I think the coaches didn't have a good game plan either. Like they haven't had. I mean, you sat on a 3-point lead in the second half. How many more leads are you gonna sit on in the second half? I don't know, but that's what they fucking do. What they do. You know, I think a little bit of both. These just bad predictable routes that could be jumped into. Is it coaching? April 23rd, bro. We're there. Dave says 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl in 35 years. April 23rd is the day, man. We're going to have a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of content. We're going to have live streams leading up to the draft as well. And we're going to be busy. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to feel good. We're going to feel good. We're going to get into it. So I think like a week or 2 weeks till the draft, I think we're going to be doing live streams every day until the draft. Then me and Philly will be doing the shakedown for the draft as well. So it's going to be a fun time. Chris says Hurts had 6 interceptions all season, 4 came in one game. Hurts was great, not turning the ball over. Yeah, I think the interceptions are gonna increase next year because you're gonna be more aggressive with these receivers and Matty and scheme. With Josh Grizzard, what he did as a passing game coordinator for Tampa Bay in 24 was a really good year for Josh Grizzard. As a pass game coordinator, I think he led the league. I think at third down conversions at 50.9% in 24 with Tampa Bay. It was a pretty good year for him. And then they fell apart in 25 when Grizzard was the offensive coordinator. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball, so I can't really take too much out of it. That they were pretty injured. The quarterback was injured most of the year, and he was down. I think Mayfield was down 2 of his top receivers for a lot of weeks. A lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, so we'll see. Eagles Center, what's going on? But listen, at the end of the day, talk is cheap. I don't care what anyone says. I'll know that Sean is Cub week 1, but between the lives, what it matters until then. I'm not crowning any coach or anything, but I do believe, yeah. I want to see what happens. I'm optimistic, like I want to give the guy a chance. He's not a promotion from within. He's from another system, and I want to see what his ideas are. I want to see what this looks like. Big says, would you deal with division? Would they deal with division rival? Who? Who said I would? Oh, for Thibodeau? Yeah, I don't know if they look into that. I don't know. Within the division, there's gonna be an in division tax. It wouldn't shock me if there's some like fucking in division tax. They don't want to. John Harbaugh doesn't want to make the Eagles fucking better. They don't want to fucking trade with us. They don't want to trade with us. Yeah, the Matt Corrals are coming out, dude. They're coming out. Dry clean. They smell good. Ready to go. Chris said Hurts looking like Joe Burrow the first halves of games last year. The second half defense adjusted. We did it. No, we never made adjustments. You're sitting on leads in the second half. Too. You know? Nate says, you think everybody closes their laptops when Nick enters the room? Maybe. Even when Nick Sirianni at the draft last year, he's like sitting on his chair like this. He's got his fucking legs up on the fucking desk, like, I got nothing to do with this fucking draft. I don't think he's got anything to do with any of these fucking drafts. He's just there to just show himself and look like the good coach that he is, Branch. Come on, Howie, see my vision. Maybe it's that Harbaugh would allow things to happen. Old school values, they'll trade in division. Yeah, he'll never do that. I think the Eagles know that. I don't think they're that stupid enough to get into trade negotiations, or at least giving them a call and get into some negotiations like that. So I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's really going to happen. So but yeah, I mean, we'll see. So now things are getting interesting. So Chris Bell now on a pre-draft visit with the Eagles. So that's, yeah, 2 receivers within 6 visits. Gotta have a lot to talk about tomorrow on that, no doubt. A lot to talk about. Robert says, I'm not giving Mini a 2 for Grenard. No, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. Let me tell you, Grenard, and you're not, what I mean? You're not getting a shitty edge. Grenard is not a sack chaser. Grenard gets his sacks, but Grenard played on a bum shoulder for I don't know how many games, 14 games. I don't know. He played a good amount of games last year on a bum shoulder. 2 years before that, 2 straight seasons. He had 12 sack seasons before that. 2 seasons, 12 sacks each. But he still led the defensive pressures, and he still had 2 sacks, even being injured the entire year. You know what I mean? He could set the edge, and that's what I think the biggest weakness is with Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith. They can't set the edge. I think Jalix has gotten better. But Nolan Smith, both of them haven't really been consistent with that. So he could set the edge, he could drop into coverage, and he could fucking pressure the quarterback and get sacks and be disruptive and get his numbers up. So he's an all-around great fit for Fangio's defense and for this team. So you're not getting a shitty player for Grenard, even for a second-round pick. Would I give that up? No. I really want the draft pick for this year, So, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. A visit doesn't mean anything till the pen hits the paper. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. Chris said KP and Nick never adjusted our run game when our O-line was wearing down because of health. We ran the same play up the middle countless times against an 8-man front. Yeah, I mean, even with a close, even when everyone was in the fucking box, he'd still run an inside zone. Can't lead the league in hitch routes. Can't do that. I went over the statistics between Mannion and the Eagles in 25, what Green Bay's done the last couple. I actually compared statistics. I forgot what video it was. I think when we hired Mannion, I did a video on statistics from Green Bay when he was involved with the offense. Versus the Eagles and what they've done. And there were some night and day statistics between both teams, and the Eagles being pretty damn bad. So Big says only trade washed up guys in the division. Let's see. Robert says, do we pick up 5th on Smith? No. I don't. Maybe if he gets like an 8 to 10 sack season, maybe that's like as far as I go with it. Other than that, an extension, I'm not really on it. So we traded a washed up McNabb to DC. Yeah, that was horrible. I mean, it was a move that probably shouldn't have happened, but you know, Dave says Harbaugh could win the MVP. Lamar. Rob says bring back Grandpa Graham. That's pretty much gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'd rather obviously not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he still got us like 3-4 sacks last year, which is more than I figured he was gonna get. Got a lot of juice left in the tank still, but I'm kind of not. I'm kind of not. I don't know, dude. I'd rather just make this trade for an edge rusher and go draft another one mid rounds than have Graham back. I don't know. I know what he does for the team. I get it. I mean, I get it. I feel like they should double down at that position. I feel like they should. With Nolan Smith leaving, I feel like they need to replenish it, and I feel like they need to get another guy. They might have to double dip at that position, but we'll see. See. I think he's coming back. I'm just saying in general, like I kind of wanted to do some, I don't know, maybe change it up a little, but we'll see. I don't mind him coming back. It's just, I know what it does for the defense. I know what he does for the team, for his teammates and stuff. I know, I get it. Our offense had an exorbitant amount of penalties last year that stalled promising drives. Our offense was in third and longs almost every drive. It was insane. Yeah. I mean, not only it takes you 8 to 10 plays to get the midfield, and then the Eagles would have one fucking penalty that takes us out of field goal position. When special teams, when we couldn't do shit on special teams and we were dropped back to our own 15 to really our own goal line in the fucking end zone, we couldn't even move the fucking ball. I mean, it was bad, dude. It was bad. I just don't want to remember that at all. Here. Eagle says, I think what you're trying to say is every time we keep bringing BG back, you feel we keep stalling from going. It's not really stalling. I just feel like I get it. You want a veteran presence and his personality and what he hypes up the line, and he's just a big voice in the room. So I get that. Not that he's holding us back. I just maybe it's holding us back, but maybe it's not. I just feel like Jalix Hunt is getting up, is becoming a vet in some case. He's putting up stats. He's doing some good things, so these guys have been here for a few years already. Um, so I'm not saying it's really holding us back, but I feel like we just I wouldn't mind double dipping at that position just to bring in another rotational talent. Bring in your longtime impactful player in a trade like Renard, and then go after a rotational guy in the draft. I wouldn't mind that. Chris says, Tro's actually how he's burned money in the draft the last 5 years. Chris says, then it was shotgun handoffs 3 times. Yeah. It was pretty bad. Vazaz says Harbaugh has been playing against a brutal AFC for years. Cam Jordan. I don't know why people keep mentioning Cam Jordan. He already signed with Freddie. I mean, the Eagles would never have injured, besides Graham, because he's a homegrown talent and he's been with the Eagles his whole career. They would never go out and sign another 34, 30. They would never sign a 34, 35-year-old player anywhere else. Was it Nolan Smith leaving? I mean, it's him or Jalix. I got Hunter. BG is like Kyle Lowry. He could come back if injuries have open or whatnot. After this year, Nolan Smith could leave, but he's got to stay healthy. If he gets hurt one time, he's gone. Regardless, I don't know. Statistics really have to prove to me otherwise, but it's just, for me, I feel like there's got to be more that happens. Rocky said we need to draft safety, offensive line, tight end with the first 3 picks. Yeah, we do. Chris says Hunt had more picks than our corners. Oh, it's true. It's true. He had 2 pick sixes this year, I think. Yeah, he led the team in sacks. He led the team in interceptions, I think. So it started to feel more Jason Peters then. No, it's not, because I feel like I say, Brandon Graham is still productive, So if they bring him back, good. If they don't, then it is what it is. I'm fine with either or. Listen, Joey, how bad is George Pickens going to hurt Dallas pockets since the wide receiver market has reset? Yeah, I don't know. 42, 43 million a year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's. I keep forgetting they haven't even re-signed him yet, and he's gonna fucking. He ain't gonna fucking be in train. He ain't gonna go to OTAs. He ain't gonna go to training camp. He's gonna hold out. He's gonna hold out until he's paid. Most likely. Because that's got to be the worst offensive history of the NFL with all that talent. I've never seen I've never seen an offense run. I've never seen that with all the and the talent got you to a wild. I mean, just under the worst play calling in NFL history. Okay, to have talent like that and still make it to a wild card game is just fucking insane. Of what good coaching turns this roster into. You know what I mean? It's kind of nuts. You know, the closest BG still has some left. Jason did. Big because of BG is fine rotation. He likes a player coach. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. Like I'm in the middle with it. I mean, I don't care if he comes back. You know, I just want him to come back and somewhat produce. You know, if he can get us like 3 to 5 sacks, then great. I just don't want to waste it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to waste it much. Because I have a Dana Bible Eagles OC in 1998, the 3-13 offense. Dana Bible Eagles OC. So it says good coaching turns the roster into a good coaching turns this roster into a dynasty. So I like I like that we still have BG on the team. For in the locker room, shit on the field, playing well with 5 or so sacks. Yeah, if he can get me that, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean. Roberts has swung on, missed on Smith, Barnett, etc. Don't draft edge well. Yeah, drafting edge has been but they haven't drafted it. They haven't. Jalix Hunt's turning out to be pretty damn good. I mean, he's getting better. If he could just take his, if Jalix Hunt comes in my throat. If Jalix Hunt could take his production and just let's get his production a little bit earlier in the season, I think we'll be all right. Late 24, he was a bloomer. And then once that Vikings game came along, that's where he really started to produce. So he said BG most likely will stay in the organization, probably a coaching job. I see him stay with the Eagles. Yeah, 100%. Here's the love mentioned, JD5. Just okay. It's like Rocky says, it's gonna suck if we don't get Grenard. We need an edge with size. And I agree. I agree. They gotta get it done. That's for damn sure. Jonathan Smith was also hurt almost all last season on and off. So I'm saying, dude, I'm not playing the waiting game with Nolan Smith because he's hurt. If he's hurt, that's why he's not going to sign with the Eagles, not get an extension. That's why it's never going to happen because of that fucking reason either. Email Mike said, going to Citizens Bank Park tomorrow for opening day. Gotta give Philly. Hey, awesome, dude. Hope you have a good time, man. I haven't been to a baseball game in fucking year. I haven't been to a baseball game since I was like 11 years old. My dad used to, because I'm in New York, my dad was a big Yankee fan. So my dad used to take me to Yankee games when I was like really young, long time ago. Bernard is not a big edge, deep speed power guy. Takes sweat back. Well, because Grenard is not full size, but he's got great technique and he does everything. He could drop in coverage, he could set the edge. Who cares about his size? He's got numbers and he's an all-around really good edge rusher. I wouldn't worry about his fucking size. So I think Eagles are shopping for Travon Walker. They might. Is Walker on the block? That I don't know. We're speculating at this point. I would love it. I would love it. I just don't know the contract because I know they gave him. I understand. I know they picked up his option, and then they gave him an extension. So I don't know how far it's really going. I really don't know. I have no idea. We have 183 people in the chat right now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream if you guys haven't. Check out the pinned comment for memberships. We got a lot of draft content up as of right now. It's going to be members only live streams, badges, and stickers are coming soon. All that great stuff. Go check it out. Go get a membership or go gift memberships. It doesn't matter, but been trying to build up on the memberships like crazy. So I appreciate everybody. It's been very generous the last few weeks. It's been awesome. So. For real. R. Mason Thomas is good. I mean, I think he's more rotational. Like, he's not going to be an instant impact. He's not really. I wouldn't say his pass rush is good. Not really great against the run, but his pass rush is there. It's going to take some polish with him the next couple of years, so he'll need a little bit of polish. But if you can get him in the 3rd to 4th round, I mean, a lot of people are calling him underrated. I think a lot of people are not. I don't think he's high on the radar with a lot of teams because he's not a lengthy edge rusher. So his metrics are definitely a problem when it comes to his arm length. And, he's got short arms, so he's not as lengthy as people like him to be. But we'll see. We'll see. I just did a video on him in the memberships actually very recently. So definitely go check that out. Grab a membership if you guys have it. You know what I'm saying, bro? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go another few minutes. So not really a long stream today. I just want to kind of cover some points today. Probably we'll do a stream tomorrow. If you haven't checked out the video that I put out today, definitely go check it out. I just uploaded it this morning. So we'll see. We'll see. D-Rus his own highlights. He embarrassed Mulata. A lot of mock drafts have us taking the lineman from Alabama in the 1st round. Yeah. That Caden Proctor is definitely one to definitely believe that we'll definitely get him. He's more likely a late round prospect or a trade back. He could get to the 2nd day maybe if he's still there. He could get to the 2nd day. So we'll see how it goes, but Sean says Akeem Messidor would be a great edge pick, I think, as well. Yeah, he's another one I'm definitely been looking at as well. That could be a 2nd round talent to, maybe gets to the 1st. We'll see. So there's a lot of talent out there, guys. A lot of talent. So, all right. But other than that, I think it's going to be it. Short one today. We'll probably do a stream tomorrow at some point. Most likely, maybe not. We'll see how the day goes. The last few days have been pretty busy for me. I freed up a lot of space when free agency started. We're doing all these streams every day. But more videos will be out. More membership videos. Definitely go check out the memberships and all that great stuff. And yeah. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to check more top 30 visits and all of that. Chris Bell coming in. We'll go, the Elijah Moore signing, getting big Fred Johnson back. And yeah, we will see. We will see. All right, peoples, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys on the next one. All right, Shakes, what up, Fall Side? Peace out, guys. All right, peace. Peace.